Hi everyone, it's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. I'm getting Instagram set up also and still trying to figure out the array of September already today, so hold on. But we're gonna get rolling here in just a second, okay? So today's a super fun day. All right. Okay, so hi everybody. We are live on Instagram, live on YouTube. Thanks for joining me. My voice is still a little craggly, snaggly, but we're going to hope it lasts for this live. Hi, Paula. So it should be fine if I just make a hybrid. I just needed some resting time for my voice afterwards today. If you all are here in either room, hi, on Instagram or on YouTube, throw a little emoji a little high up, especially for today. We've had trouble with the YouTube live stream, which is such a bummer, and I'm hoping we don't have trouble with it today, but if you guys can leave a little comment over there, Instagram always seems to be our buddy and seems to totally work. So this is our new moon ritual. So every Tuesday I meet with you all. We call it Tangent Tuesday because we connect as a community, right? And then I always have some little thread that kind of go off on for a bit as we look over like the week at hand as members on the site with the movement cycles, tarot readings, and a meditation. And we're still finishing up sessions, okay? So today, in honor of the new moon, we'll take, I have about 15 minutes allotted for it for live tarot polls. Any of the questions for the live tarot polls have to be phrased in a way that can be answered yes or no. So it's either like a quick draw. I usually get to about between 6 and 10 of them, and that'll be at the end of the live. You have to be present to do the live tarot reading. And when I say to put your question in, it'll just be in the order that they come from the feed. So today in particular, it's really important that you say hi in the feed or put an emoji in there so that the feed is running and rolling. I'm not seeing anything on YouTube again, so there's going to be some problem solving I'm going to go into after that. But Instagram's always a place for us to be. Okay. So today, the way this is going to roll, because of the new moon, we're going to do just some basic housekeeping stuff and little tangy things. I've been getting a lot of messaging from you all privately, which is great. And then, there's always some like money themes with each, lunation and with each big astrology shift that I want to kind of poke at and help with a little bit. We'll do unicorn bingo, about 20 minutes of it. So if you have your astrological natal chart, if you've done a simple chart reading with me, then you have it, you get a copy of it. I do an American like full house sign, so there's no weird cusp, very like purest traditional version of it. And so we'll go through what the houses represent today, so that you can look in your chart from where Aquarius sits in your personal chart. So this new moon, that happened yesterday, but again, the energies are about 3 to 4 days before, 3 to 4 days after, but we're dealing with the energy for the next 2 weeks, is in Aquarius. The unicorn bingo will go through your chart and see where it fits in your personal chart, and then you can kind of know where the questions or the blessings or the lessons are going to crop up for you biggest and most. When we go through astrological natal charts, and sort of with the tarot, but not really, the astrological natal charts, I won't answer any like specific personal questions. We're keeping this general. For those of you who've had a simple start reading with me, it's really fun to be able to go back, with each moon and go, where does it fit, where are my lessons, and start to learn to break down your own chart. If you haven't done the reading with me and you get my newsletter, there's directions in there on how to pull your own chart, so you can always do that. We will do a new moon ritual, every month on the closest Tuesday. It's always cool when it lands like, right before or right after on the day. And then what? And then that's it, really. So we'll go through unicorn bingo with your natal chart. If you haven't, if you don't, it's still nice to listen, and you might take some notes, because at some point you might want to go back and pull your chart. The reason I mirror these on YouTube is because we can save them in perpetuity, and you guys can go back to reference them at any point. That's been a request of members for a while now. So I'm still trying to get to formats to really work. I don't know why we can't make friends with YouTube lately. I don't see any comments on there, and I don't see any, like, oh, wait, I do. Okay, hang on. Shauna, I see you. Oh, okay, good, sorry. All right, I think we're good now. Okay, everything's good. Hi, tangent, here we go, it's Tuesday. Like I said, if you're later getting into the room, my voice is still a little like, meh, so I'm really hoping it lasts for the whole live. But here we go. So basics for today, with this community check-in, is that we're still waiting on me to give you all lesson 4 of witches work, okay? And that was because of sickness in my house, and then I was like scheduled to do it, and then lost my voice completely over the weekend. It's coming back, and I know better than this wishes, so if I'm using my voice too much, it's gonna go away again. So lesson 4 is on the roster for this week. I actually find it really good that you all have this extra time with lesson 3, because lesson 3 of witches work was all about integrative tarot, and like I said, I can't teach you tarot in a week anyhow. It's an introduction, it's an invitation, it's a refinement for those of you who already have a practice, and just permission to play if you want to begin a practice or have curiosity towards it. So week 3 was initially about pulling one single card a day, not looking at the booklet, not looking things up online, and simply going with your intuition. What do you see? What do you feel? What does it make you remember? What does it make you think of? What song pops into your head? So that you really begin to cultivate a practice with yourself and with your own intuition, especially when you're doing your own reading, okay? So the second week, because we've had 2 weeks of it now, if you felt like progressing towards the 3-card pull, usually the answer is very much to move through things and additional information that the universe wants you to hear, see, think, feel, or know in that reading. And on top of that, if you wanted to move to a bigger reading, it would be the 5-card reading, okay? So and those are all laid out in the lesson. If you like, what lesson, what session, if you're new, you're lurking, or if you're not a member and you didn't get the email, you didn't sign up for the session when we opened it to non-members. Moon Mama and Witches Work session are on the new YouTube channel. You can go back and use those at any time. So I host these sessions live as courses at certain times to where you can do direct feedback with me, right? But they stand in perpetuity, which is really the point of the new YouTube channel. There's a lot of content that I'm producing that members really want to be able to go back to, that I think are wonderful entry points for non-members and seekers. And so we want to share it and like it and really use it. So you all are still working with lesson 3. If you're like, this witches work completely, go back and start with lesson 1. It's all there on the YouTube channel. And you're like, okay, where's the YouTube channel? If you're on Instagram, go to my profile. There's a Linktree profile to all of the resources there. So there's that. And I'm loving in the private Facebook group pictures that you're posting of your polls. You guys are really generating beautiful intuition, intuitive processing, and really starting to lead with the booklets behind and this idea of trying to fit in the box of judgment and making it work. I just love seeing it unfold for you all. And there's some members that, have been with me for 5 years now, that I've done a lot of practice with, that I see their practice like, oh my God, magically blossoming in this lesson. So keep it up, keep posting your pictures, ask your questions, and lesson 4 will be out as soon as I can get it there. It's on my calendar for Thursday and Friday. I don't know if I'll do it live. It's mostly about scheduling and my voice and catching up for me. So sick. Hi, Kathleen. I see you guys. Okay, so that's the session lesson that we're still waiting on. You all have been unbelievably patient. Thank you. Like, tons of gratitude for that. And I also just know, and I think you guys are on the wagon now too, like, comes out when it's supposed to. You all needed more time with that lesson. I said it when I put it out with lesson 3. And for those who are really into it, like, you're getting through, you're starting to see how it unfolds with more time and more practice, which is beautiful. Lesson 4 will be about manifestation. And so I don't feel like it necessarily needs to be a live lesson, because it's going to be more information giving that I think you're going to need to sift through on your own. And I don't think it's going to be as long as the other lessons either. Okay. it's more of a clarification piece. Like people think they know how manifestation works or what it is. And I'm big into demystifying, giving permission so it can look like a lot of things so you don't feel like, I'm not manifesting anything, I'm not getting anything I asked for, it's not working, the universe doesn't listen to me. That's not true. Okay. It's just that sometimes things shake out very differently. And sometimes our method of intention setting isn't really what it needs to be. And so that's a lot of what we're going to be, working on and working with in lesson 4. Okay. Session. So your newsletter, yay, the newsletter went out yesterday with the new moon. So your monthly magazine, because it's more than a newsletter. Like a newsletter to me is like, hi, I'm your teacher, what's going on, here's what you can buy. Like, to me, it's not a newsletter that I produce anymore with Unicorn Wellness. It's really a monthly magazine. It's something for you to reference continually in the month, or maybe even past the month. You have your recommended essential oils for this particular month. You have your recommended healing crystal for the energies of this month as a collective, as unicorn. Okay. Then I talk you through what we did last month in the movement patterns and why, and what we're embarking on going to do in this 4-week cycle and why. Then I go big into the energies of the new moon. And when it feels like it's already coming through, I go a little bit deeper into the full moon. I tend to wait on that one because a lot of what I share with you is channeled information and energetic, and I wait until the energy is really, 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 really there. Thank you, Cisco. Safe travels. I love you. And I miss you when you're not here, even though we're always connected. So there. So there's so much going on. In the newsletter already, I've been getting wonderful messages from you that this month is like your favorite newsletter ever. Like, hello, I love that. I have some personal favorites. This one is pretty near and dear as well and up there for me. It's a weird new moon, and we're going to talk about it. So in that newsletter, if you're not a member and want the newsletter, you can swipe up on my profile on Instagram, and on YouTube, it's down in the description section. That you can go to candygutierrez.com and just sign up to get the newsletter. Like, I want as many people as possible with this information. Everything that I teach is highly curated in real time to the energies that we're experiencing right now. And that means from the movement patterns that we're working on the mat in our workout, to the Reiki healing that I infuse in each of those workouts, from the tarot readings that you guys are getting every month that are channeled information for you all. This month in particular, also I'm getting a lot of messaging about the tarot reading. So go watch it if you haven't. If you're not a member and you want access to it, then there's typically a code on my Instagram and down below on YouTube. So you can go try it for 30 days for free. So this month is feeling very important and very connected. So don't miss out on these pieces this month. Some months every month is important, but some cycles are a little bit bigger and deeper, and this is one of them. Also to the curation of the meditation on UnicornWellness.Studio. And to clarify, because things have evolved over time, and lately I've got a lot of communication about in good, constructive ways that I felt like today I needed to be a little clearer. UnicornWellness.Studio is a wellness home. It is here for your wellness on a physical, mental, emotional, and energetic plane, and mostly physical and energetic, because these are the two that this is my path, right? This is my purpose to help you all with. It's not a pick and choose kind of thing. You all do have access to your older workout videos, but the purpose is truly to come to the site and press play, because the movements that I'm curating for you all help balance and harness the energy at play in this 4-week cycle. When you guys go poking and prodding around, it's kind of like putting an extra ingredient in the cell cauldron. And it's like, I'm not quite sure what you're going to get because I'm not sure how that plays with things, right? So I want to be really clear that as the site has evolved, but it's always been a just press play format, honestly. It is about personal training with me. It is about curated energy, healing energy for and to you all, and working with these layers of channel information that is my purpose, right? So there's been some requests. Let me see if I can clarify first. I got really excited because this is really important, and I think part of explaining this is helping me refine it and get it out my mouth, so thank you. Everything on the site is curated on purpose for a purpose, to lead you back to healing, to our original set point of healing and love, which is 432 Hertz, like when you're talking frequency, okay? It's the frequency of love. Because our souls are complete and whole when we come in. We're not broken, but as we have layers of experiences and we have karma that we've agreed to, there is some undoing, some peeling away of the onion to get back that magical wholeness that's already within us. Every single time you press play on the site, you are getting a Reiki healing from me if you are open to receiving it. So there is energetic healing headed your way, even if you just listen to the video, if you don't even do the work on the mat. So this is why in the private groups we're talking about how to get back on the wagon. Like, it's not even so much about the movement, it's about your presence, it's about the energy, it's about being fed, it's about allowing yourself to be astute, and about yourself being allowed to be taken care of. So where I get cranky pants about it is like, stop poking and prodding, stop asking for more, stop making it complicated. Go to the site, press play, receive the Reiki healing energetically, work through that clean sweep of energy and physicality. So it's a clean sweep of muscles, ligaments, tendons, and bones, circulation, endorphins, and building muscle and creating balance in between strength, stability, and mobility, fluidity in the work physically. Okay, the guided meditation. I know you guys have your favorites, and this is, you know, some of like the house cleaning going on right now. There's a lot of requests to get the older meditations. I hear you. I am going to slowly load them one at a time on the new YouTube channel so that you all have access to. There's reasons it needs to be done this way. There's not any other way to do it right now. Okay. So you all will eventually have access to whichever one was your favorite in the last, you know, year and a half. But it's going to be a slow, you know, build to that. But I really want to encourage you all to do the uncomfortable thing, which is to press play, not get stuck in your favorites, and not wish for something different. To really utilize the guided meditation of the month every day of the month, or more days than not. Why? Because those meditations are absolutely custom crafted to the energy of the month and the healing that is available to us. So the point of these guided meditations is, one, to make meditation as easy as possible for you. Like, you don't have to do anything. Don't quiet your brain. Just sit there, turn it on, and just listen, like a bedtime story. And if you're thinking through the whole thing, don't judge it. Just notice it. Take some notes. Maybe zone out. Maybe fall asleep. But just press play and listen. Absorb the healing. So I want you all to really approach anytime you're pressing play on UnicornWellness.Studio as a personal healing session. If you walked into a studio, right? That's what the movement has always been. But now I want you to really think the meditations and the tarot that way. Like, you and I have an appointment every day, and you walk in to receive. Okay? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to rework anything. You do need to trust the process of what I'm curating and writing and creating for you on the back end. Okay? So I think you do fit in receiving for the tarot. There's kind of no other way to negotiate that. Those are channels that are coming through for us to help us through each major lunation and energy of the month. And then you have the meditation that's like, please anchor into that big time. Like, sit in that single meditation and then let it go as a member, right? They don't archive for you. And so this kind of wistfulness of these other energies, if I get it, and we will have things that we attach to that we really like that help us connect, which is why they're going to come out slowly on YouTube, because I get that. But there is a point to being uncomfortable, to not getting to choose, to not get to order your coffee exactly the way you think you want. I mean, this is about being a student. This is about receiving. This is about being a client and being taken care of. And this is about honoring that there are energies and layers at play that we all don't cognitively or even energetically understand. And then I'm helping curate this for you so that your soul energetically receives the benefit and can calibrate. Does that make sense, you guys? So I just wanted to say that in particular particular because the just press play, I think you guys really, for the most part, really get it when it comes to movement because we've had a lot of time with that. I mean, that's really how it's been since we launched. The meditations, you all are really anchoring into them and using them and loving them. I love that. But there's starting to be a lot of attachment to older favorites, and I get it, and I'm going to help you with that also. But when you all start to have favorites, then you all don't press play as often. Then you are missing out on the healing, the ahas, the downloads, and the capacity for evolution, which is often putting you in a place of, you know, I'm not so comfortable here. I want the thing that I really liked already, right? So you guys have heard me say it when it comes to movement. The movements and the workouts that you like best are the ones you're good at, which is great to have that in symphony because we want to enjoy our movement patterns. Typically that builds an imbalance. What's strong is just getting stronger, and the work from a physical perspective and metaphysical that you don't like so much is what really is weak and needs attention. So it's important to do the work that you're not comfortable with, that you don't particularly like, and we're addressing that on literally every single level of the site. On movement, in your spiritual ritual, like through the tarot pools, because you're going to hear some stuff, you're like, that doesn't feel good to have to look at that, right? And in the meditation, and it's just coming up in the meditation, which is great, because more and more of you are using it and really using it as your daily meditation. But now it's starting to be like, oh, I have a favorite. I'd rather do my favorite today. I really encourage you all to just show up, do what's there, and let it unfold in that manner, right? This speaks to the food too. So the reset sits quietly on the side that when you all are in need of some deep physical healing, when you're ready to address your fuel and the frequency level of your fuel and food, that you go to the reset. But everyone balks the reset because it's so structured, right? And you go, well, I can't have this, I can't have that, and I think that I have this, and I think that I have that, rather than going into it as an experience of, even though the rails are more narrow, your experience and your health and your healing capacity expands exponentially because there's rails to it. So I call this like the coffee syndrome. Like as a Western culture, we want to go order our coffee, walk into any Starbucks. I want this size, but half decaf with like half of this kind of milk and no froth. Froth has to look at this and be this color, and I don't want a lid on it, and I brought my own cup. It's like we think that the more particular, the more choices we make, the more control we have, that the better it is. I teach balance. There is a balance. Yes, you need to listen to your intuition, and you will know your body better than anybody else. However, there's a learning curve to communicating with your body, and most people don't know how to do that initially. So there's this balance between I want what I want, and I need to be a student and learn how to receive and how to not question and how to go with the flow and how to do things that are not my favorite or not as comfortable, okay? So this is where we're at with things, all right? So there's my tangent for the day because there's been a lot of requests. So the older meditations for UnicornWellness.Studio will be coming out consistently, slowly on the new YouTube channel. There's just a lot of catching up for me to be doing for being sick, and I have some other business things at play that like we'll get there and it'll come out and you'll have access to them. But like not right now. Anchor into what's on the site. It's enough. It's magical. It's so functional, and I promise that most of you aren't utilizing it enough or deeply enough, even for like my hardcore, like So there you go. Okay. All right. Yep. Here we go. Okay. So I'm gonna have a little sip of water so that my voice works. We're gonna head into Unicorn Bingo. Do you guys have any comments, questions so far? Comments about the newsletter, about this moon, anything. This is what the time is. Okay, so this new moon is in Aquarius, and I think most of you here have probably looked at the newsletter already. Okay, this moon is a little weird, and all of the particulars are in that newsletter. So if you need it, then go to my profile or down below in the description on YouTube, and you guys can have the newsletter. Aquarius is I'm just gonna say, like, this one's a little weird also. So I read a lot of other astrologers' pieces too, and this is the first new moon of 2019 that's not in shadow, right? There's no eclipse to it, so it should feel like a little bit of an upswing. And I think that all of us can kind of feel some upswing in there, right? But it's a little cranky, this one. Most of that will have to do, like, really where Mars sits in your chart. And so if you have your charts, get them out now because we're getting ready to go through the houses. Mars is different from the Aquarius moon. So the Aquarius moon, Aquarius is all about brilliant ideas. It is genius level ideas. It is unbelievably connected to the ethers and to divine energy. And I just flat out say Aquariuses are aliens. They're not super emotional. In fact, they're highly non-emotional. And all the Aquariuses will go, yes, I am. I love deeply. Yes, you do. You totally do. If you have Aquarius in your sun, your rising, or your moon placement, you do love deeply. It's very cerebral. It's very internal. So everybody who comes to me and does a simple stars, natal chart reading and has Aquarius in their sun, their rising, or their moon placement, I always recommend that you all read the 7 love languages. Because Aquarius is so smart, right? They do love deeply, but they ghost on people, and they're really alien, and they don't really know how to connect in a human body, and they find it very cumbersome and annoying sometimes. So they really, like, Aquarians deal in telepathy. And if you're not open to that, or if you don't just know what they're thinking, it can be very disconnected, and they can feel very cold and very, like, they don't give a shit about anybody. It's not true. They love deeply from a cerebral level. So I always recommend the 7 love languages because what I've seen and what I know about Aquarius is that they're willing to learn, and they go, oh, I hear that. Okay. They have to learn, Aquarius energy has to learn how to show love, how other people receive it. Okay. So this is the whole 7 love languages. It's great for anybody to read. Like, I'm Leo rising. Okay, Leo's very touchy feely. Like, we're very huggy. It's the best hug ever, and it's like a lot of cuddling. And for some, it's a little much. It's like, I got a kid. It's like, okay, and I got it on totally love. So if Leos don't receive loving touch, they don't feel love. So if I'm married to an Aquarius rising, if he's doing acts of service and thinking so much about how much he loves me, that's like putting coins, dropping them beside my bank. And I'm like, I got an empty bank, I don't feel love. But if he'll come up and like rub my back or a little hand folding, and I go, coin in the bank, I feel love. So Aquarius energy is interesting. Yeah, so there's just so many ways to navigate this. Aquarius energy, you're sitting in this new moon, and new moons are time for receiving, restoration, but it's really about messaging. So it's going to be very cerebral messaging. It's going to be very analytical, clinical messaging that we're getting. It will be an aha. It'll be that they're cognizant, like this idea that just lights things up, and you're like, oh, or something you're reading. It's not going to be, it's probably not going to be this sentient feeling of things. So for those of us who are high clairsentients, this is a weird energy because it's very, very, very brain oriented. Okay. So the biggest thing about this new moon is there are these squares from Mars, Saturn, and Pluto. So Mars is the warrior, it's anger and masculinity. Saturn is the dad of the chart, very masculine, right? This is the rule maker and like the rail. Hi, Jill. Hi, Pearl. This is like, no, you don't get to pass go until you learn your lesson. Like, you're grounded. Like, you're not going out until you figure out how this really works. Then you have Pluto involved in this, which is God of the underworld, change or die. It's calling for big, massive change and like big deal change. Like, you got to make some big calls here. And then you also have an aspect to Uranus, which Uranus is the spell breaker and the disruptor, and it's electrical current energy. So all of this calls to some grounding, right? It's all very high vibe. Like, don't anybody put on your Herkimer diamonds right now because you're just gonna zip off into the ethers, right? You need things that really root and ground you, and this month is all about that dolphin energy, right? Soothing energy, healing energy. It's emotional healing through cerebral analytical understanding, okay? So many beautiful layers this month, but it gets for a weird feeling for fresh starts and new beginnings, right? So new moons are about wishing. Meanwhile, a lot of us are kind of feeling this like angsty, surly, like, you know. So it is a time of thinking. It is a time of evaluating. It is a major time of meditation so that you can receive, so that you can hear, so that you can have an aha go. It's very important to be clear about what you're filling your brain and your ears with in these 4 weeks, for sure, so that you have the highest potential. If you will notice on the map, this is what I chose to do, detox your brain. I'm not teaching it as a traditional session because it's just too much, but the work is already there. So this is about your heart, your throat, and your third eye coming online. So we're dealing with thoracic extension, which is chest and shoulder and heart openers. Strength in the spine, like having the spine to like hold you up through some weird realizations. And more messaging coming through, like, and understanding it better. So in order to really understand your intuition, you have to be anchored in both the heart and the intellect. Have to. It won't make any sense. It's both, okay? The intellect often is the trip up, but in these 4 weeks, I'm telling you, which I don't usually do, to really like be aware of what you're thinking, how you're thinking, get quiet. It's another quiet month. We're still in winter, regardless of 2020 still. Like spring isn't here yet. It's not going and doing time, okay? Which is part of why I picked the session. I'm like, I knew better. I totally knew better. It wasn't time to push and the launch and like go gunsblazing, and I did it anyway. So we're all in this together. Okay, so that is like the gist of this Aquarius moon. It's a little weird and it's a little cranky. It's there to poke at where the healing needs to happen. Okay, so this is something I don't know if I fully went into it in the newsletter. Anger is really loud sadness. Okay, you can argue 7 ways of Sunday to me, but it's really loud sadness. And what that means is, like, on the spectrum of emotions, especially as a human, it's really happy sad. There are a million variations on that spectrum, and they're all important and interesting and need to be nuanced at times. But when you look at anger, it's really loud sadness, okay? And you're like, those people are not sad. They're angry and they're mad, and they're not listening. Well, they're not. They're angry because they haven't been tended to in an emotional way, like, ever, okay? So they don't know how to connect emotionally tenderly. So all we can ever do is deal with ourselves. And if somebody with a lot of fire in their chart, I get surly, there's a lot of fishy stuff. I'm totally in this spot too. So where anger is, you have to be willing to dig for the sadness, because that's where the wound is. The sadness is where the inner child or just your soul has not been tended to with care, with curiosity, with empathy, with love. So love is the ultimate healer. It can be a very big deal to leap from anger to love. That's a hard ask, okay? So in yourself, where you're getting triggered by anger in this new moon, you're gonna have to dig into the sadness. Like, why is that? Because it's about passion. It's about things that insult your soul that hurt so badly that you're angry about. It's also about not feeling heard, that you haven't been heard for so long about some emotional wounds that now you're yelling and exploding about. Look at where that's a pattern of behavior, where you did grow up with people who didn't listen, who weren't aware, and try to look and see if there are people who are listening and aware now, and that's just a pattern you need to break. Like, they are listening. You don't need to get angry to get them to listen anymore. Then there's this layer of anger where it becomes victimization. So when things trigger us, we get so mad about it. It's about them. It's not about us, right? And there are injustices and there are terrible things in the world. But as unicorns, we have to learn to fluff it off. I'm speaking from experience here. I'm a very sensitive person. to really brush it off and go, that's about them and they're not understanding. How can I protect myself in this moment? How can I protect what I love in this moment? How can I generate more love and healing rather than wasting energy on hurt and victimization? Can you guys hear that one? Like little emojis if that one's going to resonate. This is actually a tangent also that probably needs a little asterisk and a star and follow up. But this moon is picking at these things. And the reason it's not time to do anything yet is because we're still in healing mode. And this 4 weeks is still going to be healing mode. Planets are direct. We feel like we want to run. We feel the good things coming this year, but it's not time yet. So we're kind of having to put reins on ourselves because we feel so good energetically, internally, that we will go running too fast and we're going to miss the healing that's necessary to really hold the blessings that are coming. I want everybody to stop and do that, okay? So this 4 weeks in this new moon in Aquarius is offering us yet another big moment to heal emotionally so that we are capable of holding blessings that are on their way, okay? Okay, so now let's go through, we're going to do speed bingo here because here's what I want to do. I want to quickly give you the 6 questions to work with in this new moon. I feel like this is more appropriate at this time. And then we'll go through the houses of the chart, then we'll do the tarot. Okay? So with this new moon in Aquarius, work with these 6 questions in a journaling capacity. Just see what comes up for you. It's actually a little less about healing, but it's always about healing. So the first question is, are there any weird or odd ideas in your head? Meaning things you really want to do, the person you really want to be. Businesses, ideas, services, is there anything that's still stuck in your head that you are not activating on? Like you've been thinking about it, ruminating about it for years, or maybe just for like a day, because these last few days, right, you want to pay attention really intensely in what you've been thinking about for the last 3 days and the next 3 days. So is that idea out in the world yet? Right? If it's not, why? Why is it still stuck in your head? Why is it just bouncing around in your head? Okay? What can you do to ground it in this physical plane? So remember, as a member of UnicornWellness.Studio, we anchor in movement. Like that's the anchor, is the workout on the mat. Because we are a 3D body in a 3D plane, we are having a physical experience. We must anchor intentions in the physical realm. So if you have these grand ideas, how can you get it anchored in the physical realm? So this is like taking a course about it. This is setting up a studio. This is writing it out, like making a plan. It needs to be tangible somehow. So writing it out would be the biggest deal. Making a map and a plan, partnering with somebody to do that, starting to make some phone calls to find a space for what it is you want to do, or buying a massage table in order to support, Reiki or massage or crystal healings that you want to facilitate. Something's got to get anchored. Okay, the next question. That was the end of that one. Okay. Who are the naysayers to this idea? Or who do you think the naysayers are? This is a sub-question of this question. Is it you? Have you talked yourself out of it? Like, have you given yourself all these excuses as to why it's broken, won't work, can't do it? Oh my dear, what if you fly? Right? Oh my God, what if I fall? Yeah, but what if you fly? So for all of those terrible ideas that are broken and then don't work, you could equally say all the ways that it could work, and then it'll thrive. Last question to work with is in this new moon. Who are the supporters of this idea? So again, are you one of the supporters of the idea? This goes back to the anger healing thing. We all get stuck in habits of how we react and respond to things, and because of templated experiences. But those templated experiences are not necessarily the now and the here. So you need to check yourself of like, hey, I have this weird idea. I have this heart-centered idea that I really want to do. If I said it out loud and shared it with people, who would really like get excited and support it? And if you don't know, then maybe you need to go see, let's go put it out there. When you share ideas with people, are they the who are going to find all those broken pieces about it? Or are they like, yeah, we should do this, let's go do this, and let me help you with this. So take some stock of who's in your life right now that really supports you, that always shows up. They don't need to always agree, okay, but they will support you. They're the people who go, I don't really get this, but I hear that it's important to you, and I think that could, why not just try? Those kinds of people, okay? Okay, so those are the 6 questions to work with in this new moon. Just hear them, go back to them when you've got time. Now, if you've got your chart, we're just going to kind of blow through, because it's just, there's not enough time, which is why I try to do this on YouTube, because on YouTube we can spend like the hour and 15 or hour and 20 that it really takes for us to do a full new moon ritual. If you have Aquarius in the first house, okay, so this is if you are an Aquarius rising. This is the who am I, my identity, this is how I deal with myself. So there's going to be questions of identity coming up in this new moon for you. Like, am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And do I need to change a career path change? How do I really identify in the world? Like, is that in truth, or is there an idea of a different person because it's not, being put into fruition? Second house is how you gather your goods, food, water, shelter. So this is somebody who, this is often like work, but not career. This is just how you gather your goods. If you have Aquarius in the second house, like how you do things, maybe shifting. Like you may have an idea that I need to do things a little differently. This can be super mundane and pedantic, like changing a schedule. Thinking you have to get up and work out first thing in the morning. And meanwhile, it really makes more sense for you to do it last thing before you go to bed. This kind of switch up, okay? So it's a gathering your goods. It's a very functional, practical, mostly schedule or how you later your day kind of thing. Third house. If you have Aquarius in the third house, this is community. How do you connect to the outside world? So Aquarius has a hard time connecting with community because it's so cerebral and so ideas-based and so solving-based that they don't always get into the goods of like networking, chit-chatting, neighborly hanging out. Like they just don't. They think about it, they want to, they love it, they like the idea of it, but the functionality of it is just not there so much. So if you have Aquarius in the third house, you really might need to think about how you connect to the outside world and to make sure that you're connecting to the outside world, okay? So that you really are pushing yourself past your comfort zone to make friends with your neighbors, to say hi, to say good morning, to show up in the community for something, to take a class, like do something outside of your comfort zone so you're actually connecting with people outside. That can be as simple as posting. I mean, honestly, like I know social media is like the poo-poos of everything, but there's a lot of beauty to it too, especially with Aquarius. You can be very cerebral in what you're typing and what you're sharing, and very honest about crowdsourcing or in the UnicornWellness private community on Facebook. Like it's a safe space, and you get to participate with like-minded people where you're not going to get this. Very safe space. So it's a great place to like put things out there if you're not comfortable typically doing them. If Aquarius is in your fourth house, this is the house of home and family. So some shifts there are possible, but when you look at it at a spiritual level, the fourth house is how your sense of safety in the world. Aquarius is still safest when they're like wandering about and when they're thinking and when they're not connected to people. So just look for shifts in your sense of safety in the world, what makes you feel safe and home. It can be literal, but it doesn't have to be. Fifth house is a house of creativity. What do you make in the world? What do you produce? And so again, Aquarius has trouble. It has ideas today that are brilliant, okay? But Aquarius has trouble grounding them and getting them to come to fruition. So if you have Aquarius in the fifth house, this is like a time of making and doing and making it tangible. Like, if you want to be an artist or you say you're an artist, you better make something in these next 4 weeks, literally. Or you need a studio, or you need more supplies. Like it has to become tangible and anchored in the world. So creativity can deal with children, works of art, or businesses or business ideas. But I think if you've got a great house, like major moon for you. 6th house is the house of love. How do you give love in the world? So again, with Aquarius, that's a challenging thing. You guys ghost on people. Like, I don't know where the hell they went. We were having a conversation 2 minutes ago and I haven't seen them in 7 months. That kind of thing. So, if you have it in the 6th house, make sure you're showing up for people, acts of service, words of praise, telling people you really appreciate them, loving touch if that's appropriate, right, with the people that are around you. Like, really demonstrating it. And for Aquarius, this feels really weird, but it's okay. Just check it off your list. Something you're practicing and you're learning to do is simply a habit. 7th house. If you have Aquarius in the 7th house, relationships. This is how you deal with relationships and other people. And it's really with how do you deal with other people. So relationship issues, and these can be blessings too. Remember, this isn't always the work. They just look for the goodness in it too. Like, so for those of us with Aquarius in the 7th house, it's like, no, the people who show up for you, who are your team, who are in loving care for you and your wishes and dreams, like, you know who they are. Like, there's not this, like, nobody ever shows up for me, nobody ever loves me. Oh, no way. Oh, you're, no, you are, of course you are. So this is like, I get really busy, right? I'm very present for my family and my kids. But for my friends, sometimes I throw in line myself to check in on them because I love so deeply in my relationship and I'm working is how I give love in the world, but sometimes I forget to show up with a friend. So like I have to remind myself to send a text, actually pick up the phone and call people. But this is about relationships. So this is like, this new moon can just show you who's really yours, like who's on your team, who's the inner circle. And it can also, brew some issues of fallout with relationships that just aren't going to be there anymore. Like they're not going to hop on the weird idea wagon. Oh, I love you too, Christine. So it's like, this is a place to go, yo, this is my weirdest idea and nobody's supporting this. So like, no, you don't get to be in the inner circle anymore. You're not really counted as my close, important relationship. Please remember that this pertains to family too. Okay? That's a hard one, but it's important. Okay, so that was 7th house. 8th house, house of empowerment, but this is like death and sex. And it's like, what? From a spiritual level, this is the house of clearing. So this could be a time of cleaning house if you've got Aquarius in the 8th house of like jobs, people, stuff. But I mean, this is like the tower. This is Pluto and the tower card. Like, nope, they've got to change because you haven't been making active decisions for the universe just decides we're going to hurry the process up for you, and we're just going to clear some shit out. So you can't stand in dismay and disarray and go, why is this happening? You just got to go with it. You got to go, okay, something better's coming. I wasn't supposed to be there. I wasn't supposed to be doing this. How we clear is really how well we can manifest. Because you can't bring anything new in if you're not willing to get rid of something new. Okay? So I'm going to leave it at that. So I think those with Aquarius in the 8th house are going to experience some pretty neat but intense energies in these 4 weeks also. 9th house. This is how you connect with spirit. So this is really about how you connect with yourself on the inside. And so this is very much about the subcognitive, the thinking patterns. Binaural beats would be a great way. This is a lot of what I look at is relationship laws are so good. I want you guys to really adopt that. Stop thinking of it as loss, of like, thank you for taking out the trash. Clearly, I was too empathetic and open-hearted about that. They needed to go. So, like, it's this shift of perspective. If things are changing and they look chaotic, it's not to not be sad, not to not be upset about things, but they really are a blessing. You've got to get higher level, right? 3D says, it's only tangible goods in front of my face. 5D says, that person was no good and was bringing you down and needs to go, and I'm making room for something bigger and better. So thank you. So what, 9th house. I always say 9th house is like, what's the best way to meditate? So if you have Aquarius in the 9th house, it's frequency and binaural beats, because you are so alien and so out there that frequency is actually going to get to the heart of your soul faster, better than words. Okay. 10th house, house of empowerment, how do you take your power in the world? So Aquarius in the 10th house really speak to like absolute activists, philanthropists, humanitarians, of really genuinely trying to solve the greater good of all involved. like literally. So doing groups, leading a group, creating a group, joining a group that really moves the dial forward. 11th house. This is the house of, it's like networking and friends, but it's also considered to be the house of bliss and how you give your gifts to the world. It's a very mixed up house. If you've got Aquarius in the 11th house, it can be difficult to network and to make friends or feel like you have a right network of people around you. So that just can be shifting. And maybe that's really great because it gives you so much time to think. There's a call to writing here in this house with Aquarius in the 11th house, because it's about how you give your gifts. So Aquarians are very cerebral and very word-oriented and very analytic. Also scientists in the group. So if you have Aquarius in the 11th house, this moon is going to push you to really be giving in a way that's necessary. So there could be fallout in this 11th house, also shifting. Where you're like, I've done this for 15 years and I just got fired. That's because you're not doing what you're really supposed to do. Like there's a tweak in it to more writing, to more research, to something to give your gifts better in the world. And it does tend to be lonely with Aquarius in the 11th house. That's the sense of not belonging, and it's not quite fitting. So how can we embrace the not fitting, and look at it as the unique, beautiful thing that it is? Because not just it, right? 12th house. 12th house is the house of the unseen. So Aquarius in the 12th house to me is like high psychic capacity, channeling capacity, mediumship capacity, and so really watch out for your dream time messaging in this one, because Aquarians are so connected to the thought process and the ethers, and they think their ideas are theirs, right? Because we're humans, but they're not. They're channeled information that's coming through. It's a lot of gifted information with Aquarius in the 11th house. So just be watching for dream time messaging. If you feel like channeling and being a medium and connecting to the other side, like this is probably a high probability in you. Like it's very witchy and very. You can pull messages from the other side, and sometimes they come like, I didn't want those. Yeah, well, you still got to deal with it. That's part of your karma. That's part of your incarnation. Okay, that was like super speed. Okay, so there you go. Let me know which house this is in for you. I totally think it's funny, Brianna, that you and I have that same 7th house as well. It just keeps getting more twinning as we go. So comments and questions. There we go. And then let's move on to the tarot, and I'll do as many as I can with what Instagram gives us. If you're still on YouTube, this is where it's a benefit towards the end of the hour, because I can go as long as you want to. All right, so if you all want questions, it'll be first come, first serve. I can definitely do 5 to 7. You have to type them in a way that they can be answered yes or no. And I'll just do a quick draw in this new moon for you guys, okay? So if you typed one in before, you got to retype it. So now is the time. You have to be present for the reading to type your question, phrase it in a yes or no way, and however quickly you guys type with the time that we have left on Instagram, also as many as I possibly can, okay? So let me know. And there's some flying out already. All right, that was a 401. Maybe that was for me. That's like the happiness card. That's like supposedly the sweetest card in the deck. It's a marriage, but it's a celebration. So maybe that is mine. Okay, here we go. I see you guys. Okay, what do we got? Will my big career shift to working for myself full time happen in 2019? Yep, right out of the gate. That's the big one. Okay, will the shift to full time working for yourself happen in 2019? Okay, can you see it? It's Temperance. That's a yes, okay? But I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be towards the end of 2019 because I can just feel that. It's later than what you think. It's later than what we thought. I think from that last reading, but it's definitely this year. So Temperance is about balance, right? One foot on the ground, one foot in the ethers. And it's learning how to pour and how to flow and how the balance happens. So it's a yes. Keep doing what you're doing. It's about refining and learning. And it is ordained, like I do, like a trumpeting, like it's totally going to happen. But I also feel like it's not going to be as secure as we want it to be because nothing ever is, right? So yeah, so later in the year, And look, what I love in this deck, can you see it? He's juggling three balls, right? So it's like, it's juggling takes time in between the three things, body, mind, spirit, like food, water, shelter, what is it, maiden crone, and you know, it's like the three cycles of our life. Like it's learning balance, and then you can step into it. It's gonna take some time. Okay, Kira, will I be working in the next 2 months? I want you to refine that question and add more details to it. Working where, working for who, making how much. Like, yes, you can get a job in the next 2 months, but it may be not what you want. So what is the question you really want to ask in detail? Will I be working in a career of my dreams, making sufficient money to cover everything and extras? You know, like, let's get a little more refined in that question. Jennifer, should you buy the Wilson house on Woodfox? Okay, Jennifer. I'm so laughing. That's a yes, because this is totally divine balance between masculine and feminine energies. This is rebirth. This is brand new family. Like, right? Like, that is not Eve. Let's be clear. Like, that's Lilith. Like, this is the original. Like, this is beginning new things and being bare and vulnerable, but in perfect balance, masculine, feminine, solar. That's beautiful. And what is it? It's on Woodfox. So that's funny because it's like a big old tree, big old wooden tree. I like that one. Okay. All right, what's next? Should you move forward with your move up north this year? Okay, hang on, wait. A move up north this year. So we're going to 2019, move up north. That's a yes. Lots of yeses. I'm trying to hold this word both so you can see it. So 6 of Pentacles. I mean, that's gorgeous. 6 is love. 6 of Pentacles is abundance and sharing and like the party and like, no, there's enough for everybody. That's yes. That's a benefit for you guys to move that direction because it's going to provide. It's like a providing card. Okay. Okay, Kira, there we go. I want big, solid questions. Okay. So will you be working in the career of your dreams in the next 2 months? Okay. So this is funny. So funny. I find things funny and ironic. So Kira, this is the Hermit card. This says no, not in 2 months. You need time of introspection and reflection first. There's self-work to do before you can step into the career of your dreams. But this is a 9, this is empowerment, and this is cycle closing. So I would say a 9-month window. That's a big yes. There's a 9-month window here, but you need to work on your stuff. It's like you can't leap. You're going to get sleep. It's going to happen this year, but you need more time in preparation, and you're trying to go too fast. You're trying to skip the self-work steps. Man, or loud. Okay, so not in 2 months. Yes, in 9 months. If you do the personal work, the Hermit is about like meditation, self-care, food. Like it's literally like UnicornWellness.Studio. This is like the practical pieces so you get really solid in yourself and understand like where your internal moral compass is, what you will and won't abide by, and what you really genuinely want. You have to kind of go away for the Hermit, and then you get rebirth and get to reintroduce yourself into society kind of thing. Okay, let's see what we got here. Jen, you were so welcome. Okay, Pearl, should you introduce gluten in the reset or leave it out? Okay, should you reintroduce it in the reset? Because that's a yes or no question. Should you reintroduce gluten? That's a no. It's totally a no. So the Emperor is like the hard stuff. Like he's a Saturn, he is a dad, he says no. Like Saturn says no. There's boundaries. No. You've already come this far on it. Like don't ruin it. Don't capsize, don't self-sabotage. Like he's long-term strategy. And he is Saturn and the dad. Like, no, you have to learn some hard lessons. That one you don't get back. Wow. 4 is consistency, stability, long-term persistence. So this is like, nope, it's out for the long game. You're going to need to start to work with that because that's where healing begins. And I'm hearing that that's the source of the scalp stuff. Yep. Okay. Oh, 25 seconds, you guys. Shauna, let me answer yours on YouTube because I think you're still over there. So let me see if there's one more in here. Oh, there's a good thank you for watching me. Yeah, good. Okay, Jill, we need to call for an interview for grad school this month. That's a yes. That's a yes. It's a little off on the horizon. It's longer on the horizon than you think it should be. I love you guys and your questions, and I will talk to you next week. Okay, so Shauna, I know you're on YouTube. Let's see. This is a great card. This is Seven of Cups. So Shauna, this is like, it depends. It depends on what you choose. It depends on where your head's at. So Seven of Cups is about you need to really think about what you want first. You have to put your order into the universe. Don't leave the floodgates open to just anybody, any date, any relationship. Like sit down and make your perfect partner list. Literally. Because Seven of Cups says, what do you want your cups filled with? How do you want to spend your time? What do you want them to look like? What do you want them to feel like? Like aim big, put your order in for a partner, then you can ask again. You're not going to get anything, literally, until you put your order in and you're committed to it. So this is it depends. If you really get serious about intention setting and manifestation and knowing what a perfect partner looks like do you want a partner for right now or do you want a life partner? Those are different things. So you until you decide what kind of partner you want or who that is or the attributes of that person, then nothing's happening in February. Okay? All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out today. Thank you all for being with me. I'm so grateful. Like the new moon ritual is always so fun. And I think we're gonna kind of do a similar setup for the full moon. So twice a month we can do the live tarot readings. And if you join me on YouTube, then we can stay longer. So those of you who can be around on YouTube for these lives, like really you get more benefit out of it, quite frankly, because I can do more of the readings here. All right. If you're interested in booking a private session with me, below in the description links, you can book with me on Wednesday. They're offline and online meetings. Sometimes you get with me one-on-one, or you cannot, and I'll record it and send it to you for personal readings to get more into details for yourself. For this moon or for life in general, career shift, relationship shift, and how to heal the wounds that really build the blocks in your life energetically. If you're interested in the daily healing that's available on UnicornWellness.Studio and our movement patterns, our workouts, link below, and there'll be a code down below for 30 days free on the site for a guest membership. There's no weird nothing. Like you can cancel anytime. Day 31, it rolls over to $32 a month, and it's unbelievably valuable if you'll really anchor into the work that's there, and there's nothing else like it online. So I love you all very much. Thank you for being here with me and join me next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I saw that, right? Like just get focused on what you're asking for, and then we'll ask you. Okay? All right, I will see you all next week.